So last week we got rid of all kinds of woods from around the face. Now this camera is going to be set at the same height today because our zoom is not working, so we'll just work at it the way it is. So we got rid of all the wood right up to the center line on the side, both sides, and we got to leave the wood in here to a certain extent in order to create an ear. If you take a look at the diagram, you'll see that the ear sits just behind that center line. So we've got the general shape of the head. Looking at it from a side view, we got the general shape of the head looking at it straight on. So we got the side established. So now, in order to work away at the head and give the facial features, we've got to do one more thing. We've got to create that design of the hat. And if you notice, the shape of that hat is a real sharp curve. It's an unusual hat in that it's, I guess we'll call it an old hat. Okay? It's a well-worn hat. So in order to create that, you can see that it's up considerable amount, and particularly on where the eye is going to be, is going to have that hat up quite high. So we're going to start to create that. And at the back it comes down and kind of disappears behind the shoulder. Kind of flattens out as it comes down. Okay? So from, I guess where it rests on the back of his shoulders here, up over his ear, and to just that point there where the forehead is going to be, that would be the highest point, and then it comes back down. And I'll take another look at this to make sure I've got it better, and I haven't. Use my steel eraser here to remove some wood. So it looks kind of like that. Okay, so now we got to try and duplicate that design on the other side. Alright, so we'll draw it on the other side. I'll stop this. So there it is on one side, and there it is on the other side. Okay. So it's going to be different hats on different carvings, but the thing I want to point out here is we're not going to worry too much about the top part of the hat, this part up here. Because what we'll do is we'll design the face, and again everybody's face is going to be a little bit different. So once we've got the face designed and the general shape of that head, then we'll make the top of the hat fit it, not the other way around. Because if you start shaping the hat, the top of the hat, it may be too small, and not much of a problem if it's too big, but if it's too small, then you can't make it work. It doesn't look right because the top of the hat will not be the same size as the head. Okay, so first things first, we've hollowed out up underneath here, so we've got a good hollow underneath the brim of the hat, just as it is in the diagram. And if you notice that it's right up underneath there. So originally we established this kind of a V shape for the nose. So it comes out like that, a little bit of a flat spot, and then down. So we've created that same shape here. Okay, you see it there, that's better. So now we're going to work at the front profile, and normally I have a whole bunch of wood removed from the side of the face, creating more of a V coming down here, but we won't bother with that today. So we've got to establish the size or the width of the nose. So I'm going to use this diagram here to establish the width of the nose. So I mark it on my carving. So it looks something like that. So then I want to establish where the pinch or the bridge of the nose is going to be, and if you notice on the diagram, it's up a long ways, and actually the bridge of the nose is underneath that point in the hat. So we know that the bridge of the nose is going to be there. So let's establish how wide the nose is going to be at that location. So something like that. The bottom of the nose is about there. So you've got your parameters of your nose by just establishing those 4 lines, or 5 I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the bottom of the nose, the 2 sides, and the bridge. The nose anchors the face. If you can get the nose in the right spot, the rest of it kind of follows along. Having trouble?
I don't have the slope right. How far down should that slope come up?
So the key here is to have the nose high enough so that you've got enough room down below so that you can work on a mouth and a chin in this area here. And the width of the nose, make it likely a little bit wider than what you normally would make it. And then mark the pinch of the nose up here. So use the center line as your guide to measure off. If you're right-handed, mark this side of the carving first, so that then you can see that when you're not working over top of when you're wanting to mark the other side. So the same thing's going to apply when we carve it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to carve a notch across. And if you take a look at the side view of his mouth, like the nose does stick out, so there is a ledge that is established there. So that V there will have to come out. Alright, so we're just going to make a straight cut straight across. So use a V tool. I'm going to use a 6mm V tool. Alright. So there it is with the V cut all the way across. Now we're going to take the side of the nose off, up, and we're going to take it up all the way to the hollow where the eye socket is going to be. Now I'll point out something on the diagram. If you look at the diagram, from the outside point of his nose to his lip is half the distance to where the nose sits in the face. So we're going to remove the wood up the side of the face, half the distance or half the thickness of his nose. Okay, so that'll be the depth that you have the V cut across the front is going to be the depth that you're going to go up each side of the nose. Now I'll go ahead and do that and then pass it around. Okay, so the side of the nose is established on both, and we got the bottom of the nose. Now if you take a look at the diagram, you'll see that the nose has an angle to the bottom of the nose. So what we've done is we've established the side, we've established the bottom, and the other side. So in order to get that centerpiece there, so we'll put the center line back in. So there's the center line back in. Now we've got to establish a flat spot on the bottom of the nose, and then we've got to decide how far up we want those wings to be. And what I do is I put a line straight across. That's how far up I want those wings to be. So then that allows me to remove this triangle here and this triangle here. So those two pieces come off, and there it is. Voila, you've got the bottom of your nose shaped. So the trick is to establish that flat spot on the bottom of the nose, decide how far up you want the wings to be, and draw a line straight across, and then you can take those 2 triangles out. So I'll mark that on my carving and then carve it out. Okay, so there it is with the bottom of the nose shaped. Alright, now we're going to continue. We're still working on the nose. So now we have to create the wings on the nose, and that's the top part of the nose. So I'm going to put another line across where the top of the wing is going to be, so that then I can make a little bit of a V cut on both sides to create the top of the wing of the nose. So I'll do that on my carving, and this is a guesstimate. Alright, and so to make that little V cut in on either side, I'm going to use a V tool and I'm going to plunge it straight down. But now I can create what is called the smile line, which creates the mouth mound. So the smile line starts at the top of that wing and works its way down. In this case, the guy has got a smile on his face. So typically with a smile, the cut comes down and then kind of swings out. Comes down and swings out. So that cut will come down and then swing out on both sides. All right, so I'll mark that on my carving the way I figure it's going to be.
Is that line above
Uh,
the prominence of the nose?
yes, it's just above. Can you see that? It's just above. All right. So I'll take my V tool and I'll be using the V in there to plunge it down, and then I turn it and bring it down and remove that wood. So by going in deep to make that V cut down each side and creating that, you created not only the top of the wing but the top of the smile line as well. Now you can go ahead and use your knife and round this mouth mound, and I'll do just the one side here, as you can see. And you can see what happens with that by putting that V cut in there. Remember I said the nose sits half out of the face and half in the face? By putting that V cut in there, you created the back, the inside part of the nose. Okay, so the nose now sits half out of the face and half in the face. And now by rounding this mouth mound down here with a knife, you can see where I'm going with the shape. Okay, so there it is with the mouth mound completed. In order to make sure that you've got symmetry on it, turn it up and look up. Oh, can I see it? There. That's tough for you to see on the camera, but I've got the mouth mound shaped all the way around now, so that it's more or less the same on both sides. Okay, so that's the key to get the mouth mound going. We can shape the mouth mound in different shapes, and that helps create expression. But for now, that's good enough. So once you've got that shape, then we'll go on and we'll start working our way up the head. Here we go again. All right, so likely for today, we'll finish up by rounding the head. And we're going to round the head underneath the brim, all the way underneath the brim. So starting from our center line, okay, we're going to start to round that and create more or less the same shape as what we've got for the hat. We're going to create the top of the head, and that will extend all the way down and including this cheek in here. So that whole roundness is going to continue around. If you look at your next door neighbor, you'll see that it's all completely round. Okay? All right? All right, we're round all the way around. So let's create that, and I'll use a V tool underneath the hat to create my stop cut to create the roundness, and then I'll just smooth it off all the way down.